I'm Dr. A. Kumaravil, Professor and Dean, School of Building and Mechanical Sciences, K.S. Rangasamy College of Technology, Tiruchendur. I'm handling the course on finite element analysis. Then we are going to see the trusses. The example is electric tower. You see that there are elements, short elements are connected together and forming the structure. Okay, so there are two types. One is a truss, another one is the solid material. Okay, if you take the round rod with the diameter d, length L, okay, so that is a solid rod. Here that structure is like that. You see that example, the structure is like this. One end is fixed here. Okay, so then this is one member, it is pinned together. Then this is another member, it is pinned. You see this is a difference between the support. So this is completely fixed. That means you have the x direction and y direction. This is x and this is y direction. So at this point, if it is completely fixed, the displacement in the x direction is 0, displacement in the y direction is also 0. Okay. So if it is a roller joint, the displacement in the x direction it will exist because the roller will move in this direction. That means x displacement will be there. Whereas in the y direction, you see that this support is fixed. Okay, so this support will not allow the displacement in the vertical direction. Okay, so that is why this is roller support, this is fixed support. In fixed support, so in x direction and y direction, both the displacement will be 0. It will not allow to displace in this particle. Whereas in the roller support, where the roller supported, based on that, so here the roller support, it will move into the x direction. So that means the displacement is allowed in the x direction. So in the vertical direction, you have the fixed support, and the vertical direction, you don't have the displacement. That means the displacement is 0 and the particle will not allow to move in the y direction. Okay, so because of fixed in the vertical direction. So that is what we have to discuss, differentiate. Okay, and then this is another member, it is pinned together. Here also it is pinned. Okay, and then this is another member, it is like this. Okay, you see that these are all the joints. So in between there is no joint. So to form the structure, the end of the member is pinned together. Okay. So here there will be a displacement, that is x direction displacement u1, because this is node 1 and this is node 2 fix, that is a pinned joint. Okay, so this is node 3, joint 3, and here this is joint 4, this is joint 5. Okay, so in the joint 1, the x direction displacement is u1, the y direction displacement is u2. Okay, and similarly in the joint 2, x direction displacement is u3 and y direction displacement is u4. Similarly here this is u5, in the vertical direction u6. So in the joint 4, horizontal displacement is u7, vertical displacement is u8. So here this is u9 and vertical displacement is u10. So how many joints are there? You have totally 5 joints are there. And how many displacement in each joint? You see, this is one joint. Then here one horizontal displacement will be there, one vertical displacement will be there. So that means there are 2 displacements, 2 degrees of freedom in each joint. Okay, and so you have totally 5 joints are there. Then how many degrees of freedom will be there? How many displacement will be there? 5 into 2, 10. So that means u1, u2, u3, u4, u5, u6, u7, u8, u9, u10. There are 10 degrees of freedom will be there. in the total structure. Whereas in the per node, what is the degrees of number of degrees of freedom? 2. One is in the x direction, another in the y direction. Each joint, okay, so you have 2 degrees of freedom. That means 2 displacement, one in the x direction, another one in the y direction. Now you look at it, this structure, okay, so this is looks like a element. This link will be acting as a one element. This link acting as a one element. This link acting as a one element. So like that, there are several members are joined together to form the structure. Okay. So now for the finite element analysis, you take each member taken as an one element, and where you have pin joined to form a structure, that is called as the node. So you see that this is one node, this second node, this is third node, this is fourth node, this is fifth node. These are all the element number 1. Okay, so this is element number 2, this is element number 3, this is element number 4, so this is element number 5, this is element number 6. So like that, you assume that the members are acting as a element in the trusses, and the pin joined acting as a node. So in the first class itself, we are talking about the discretization. There are 2 type of discretization. One is the natural discretization, another one is the artificial discretization. Okay. So in the natural discretization, the example is the trusses. So here we are not dividing the whole structure into a fine number of elements, because here the member itself we have taken as an element. The member itself we have taken as an element. Or if you take the solid bar, so like this. So in the solid bar, there is no pin join. It is completely solid with the diameter d and length L. So here we are dividing into number of elements. The whole structure is divided into number of elements. So that is why this is artificial, okay, discretization. This is natural discretization. Okay. The truss also can be analyzed or considered as a one-dimensional problem. Okay. So because the truss member will take only the axial load. The truss member will take only the axial load. You take the element number 1 like this. This is element number 1. The nodes are here 1 and 2. Nodes are 1 and 2. This member will take only the axial load. So axial load, if it is in the horizontal direction, it will acting like this. If it is inclined, this member like this member is inclined like this. Okay, so this member will take in this direction, axial to this member, axial direction to the member. Okay, in this direction it will take with this, it will take the load, or it will withstand the load. So this is what the example for the one-dimensional problem. So the truss problem can be analyzed using the one-dimensional problems. Okay. So like that we have to take. So what is truss? It is a structure made up of these several bars. Okay, and riveted or welded together at the joints. Okay. And the assumptions. What are all the assumptions we are making for analyzing this problem? Okay, so we assume that all the members are pin joined at the ends. Okay, all the members are pin joined at the end of the member. The second one is the truss is loaded only at the joints. The truss is loaded only on the joints, only at the joints. That means what is that? Okay, you take, so here this node, so the load can be applied here only at the node, and here the another load can be applied only in the joint. So here you can apply the load, but it is not applied, the load is not applied in this point. because here there is no node is available. So nodes are only at the end of the joint of the member. So here, these are all the pinned joint or welded joints. Okay, so we are considering the nodes only at the end of the member. So one rule is there, whatever the load is applied, then it should be placed in the node. Okay, so then here there is no in between this member, there is no joint here. We cannot apply the load at this point and then like 100 Newton. We cannot do that. So because the only joints it is can be applied the load, then only it can be analyzed. So that is the condition for the second one assumption. The third assumption is self weight of the member is neglected. The self weight of the member is neglected. Okay, so in the solid bar also, then we have analyzed as one dimensional problem. Okay, one condition is without considering the self weight of the bar. Then the second option is considering the self weight of the bar. Okay, so there are two type of conditions we have assumed and we have solved the problem. But whereas in the truss members, okay, so the weight of the truss member is negligible. So because of that, the self weight of the member is neglected or unless otherwise stated. Whether we have given the option for the self weight is to be considered. Okay, so like that we have to assume the problem, okay, for the truss problems. So then for this already we have analyzed the what is called two-dimensional that is bar element. Okay, so this is a two-noded bar element. In the two-noded bar element you have the two nodes 1 and 2. Okay, so this is element number encircled the numbers. Okay, so here in the node 1 the displacement is u1, the node 2 the displacement is u2. Okay, so only it will take the axial load. Okay, so then this is x direction. So this is a two-noded bar element, okay, which is used for the artificial discretization. We have taken the two-noded bar element. The condition is this bar element will take only the axial load. So this is the behavior of the element. It will take only the axial load. So with applying the axial load, the displacement will be there only in the x direction, that is in the axial direction. Okay, and we have derived the stiffness matrix for this two-noded bar element already. Okay, so this stiffness matrix is derived from stiffness matrix is derived from which equation? The strain energy equation. So where we have that is derived from this. So from this strain energy equation we have derived. So what is the strain energy equation? U is equal to 1 by 2 into sigma into epsilon. Okay. So that means we have simplified and then we have derived. So what is the stiffness matrix? At the end of that derivation, what we have achieved? So then AE divided by L, okay, into 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1. So this is the stiffness matrix for two-noded bar element. This is for two-noded bar element. Here the A is area of the member, Young's modulus of the member material, and L is nothing but the elemental length, okay, LE, then or otherwise you can put LE, and 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 you have taken. So whatever the element you assume that you discretized using the two-noded bar element, you know the material property, you know the dimensions, okay, and you can calculate directly applying this formula. K is equal to AE divided by L into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. You can calculate the stiffness. Okay, so this is the stiffness matrix. Yes, you see that this is the truss member. Okay, so in this truss, then you have one member is in the horizontal direction. This is in horizontal direction. The other member is in the inclined direction. Okay, so there is a angle theta will be placed here. So okay, So there will be an in theta angle between these two members. So we have to take care of all these inclination for analyzing the whole structure by considering as one-dimensional problem. Okay. So because the different elements are placed in different angles. So for that you need to have some transformation matrix you have to have for the inclination to be considered the stiffness matrix. So for that we have to derive for the displacement, that is the stiffness matrix for the truss element. That means the stiffness matrix for the truss element.